If he didn't lose his internet, we'd be up and running.
I'm just waiting on OBS to pick this YouTube stream up again. I think I got it. I have black right now. Hold on. Yep, there we go. Okay, we're good. And Dan's back. So, Dan, you'll be happy to know that as soon as your internet died, everything went to shit. Your internet died. The Zoom video froze. You're here twice now somehow, by the way. Can I boot one of you? Which one of you is really here? Oh, God. Hold on. Don't say anything. You're echoing really bad. Okay. Now talk.
Good.
We're good now. I think we got it.
It literally, as soon as you dropped the intro, everything crashed. The internet stopped working just on the desktop. So now I know what I'm doing. Maybe tomorrow morning. Just going to get a fucking new desktop.
Well,
even though Best Buy doesn't sell them.
You sent it from your computer all the way to Hopper's. Because as soon as you went down, he went down.
Yeah. Really? Well, I didn't go down. The video going out to YouTube stopped. And then I tried to fix that, and it went all white-screened and sideways. Then I had to close OBS midstream and try to bring that back up. And then my graphics driver crashed, and then I lost my middle monitor because it didn't recover. Had to pull and restart that, and I got everything back to good about the time you got back here. So if you're listening to the audio podcast, you're welcome. You just got 6 minutes of no content and a total clusterfuck. If you're on YouTube, you have no idea what's going on because that was just all over the place. Welcome to Beerfield. We're starting over because that is no way to start a show the way that just went. Chris Hopper, Dan Thury, Ryan Miner, at Beerfield Hop, at Beerfield Thury, at Ryan Miner, _FFB in order. Hoping to get off to a better start now after that whole ordeal.
You fucking broke it. It was just like, this episode is too fire. It's too hot. It's too lit. All the things that make me sound like a white dad, and it just fucking broke it.
Everything
broke. It just died. It was like...
It was over.
It was over.
All at once. We were done.
Scott Fishbowl just broke Zoom.
I got really nervous. I said, that's the show. I didn't know what to do now.
Ryan was in charge for about 30 seconds, and he was very confused.
Ryan was in charge for another 45 seconds when I had to get up out of my chair and go behind the desk to cycle that monitor, too.
Yeah, Jesus, love it.
All right, some housekeeping items before we get to the show. Beerfield presented by the FF Face-Off, assuming they still want to be associated with us after that just happened. FF Face-Off Mental Health Podathon 2-day live stream event starts this Saturday, July 16th, and runs through Sunday, July 17th, 7 a.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. Again, that does cover both days. Partnering and raising money for the Hayden Hurst Family Foundation. Make sure that you tune into that. Check them out. Supporting a great cause. Mental health is huge to all of us here. So please make sure you tune into that. And then also this Saturday, if you're within an 8-hour drive of Springfield, Illinois, which is considered a reasonable driving distance. Well, not anymore. We got to adjust for gas prices. If you're within 6 hours of Springfield, Illinois, which is considered a reasonable driving distance, Wrestling for a Cure happens at the Illinois State Fairgrounds this week. My boy, Wrestling for a Cure heavyweight champion, Mac Daddy Duds, and current DCW heavyweight champion, Mac Daddy Duds, going to be in town. So, putting his undefeated streak on the line against some jabroni I've never heard of. So,
fucking jabroni.
I'm sure he's a great guy because I know Dudley isn't. So, there's that.
He's a forever heel.
He is a straight heel. All right, we're drinking, and at least 2 of the 3 of us aren't bitches and got some strong beer, so we'll see what Dan brings to the table.
What's fueling Beerfield?
I just saw Dan look around like, shit, I only brought a session IPA.
No. No, I got some a little bit stronger.
All right, Ryan, we're going to save you for last. Dan, go ahead and go.
This is the Shoots Black Butte. This is their limited release anniversary barrel age or a barrel age version of it. So it's Asian rum barrels. This is anniversary 32. I believe this is from last year that I've had aging sitting on top of my cooler for the last 16 or so months. Had to breathe on something strong. Today has been a day. And then, on top of the show, decided to shit itself. Literally, that it just felt like it was needed. It was just, this is a strong beer.
Indeed.
This is just a strong beer episode, outside of Ryan.
Yeah, he's got a strong beer. You didn't see the percentage on that.
He's got true.
All right, I've got a Maybach Lager from Old Irving Brewing Company out of Chicago, Illinois. And this thing's got layers. So first off, Bach means male goat. It's called Goat Destroyer. It's in celebration of 11/22/2016. It's one of the 3 best days of my life.
Aw.
It's when the Cubs won the World Series. So 112th edition, they call it, because I think that's how many years it will. Or I don't know why it's 112th edition, actually. I thought it was only 108 years. Anyway. So Maybach Lager is a German lager, hoppier version of a Bock, basically. Brewed and typically drank in May, hell meaning pale. So it is paler than your normal German lager. Full review, about halfway through the show. Ryan, I'm not even sure I can allow this.
On purpose, no less.
I did this on purpose. I do it for the people because that's what we're here for, is the people.
He is the blue-collar everyman's beer drinker.
Ryan,
absolutely.
Ryan doesn't have to get full-fledged reviews if he brings on this beer.
Hey, I am drinking Natty Daddies right now. It comes in at 8%.
And you're going to have to hold that closer to the camera because it's blurred out by your background.
No, it's done on purpose.
Put it right in front of your face. There you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah, Natty Daddy. So, yeah,
is that the pineapple one?
No, this is the plain one that my wife felt really bad buying for me tonight.
Wait, it's plain?
Yeah.
Just plain-ass malt liquor.
You got to start low, man. If I start low, I can only work up from there. I got to start at the bottom, I don't want to start at the top, work my way down.
Holy shit. Okay.
On purpose, no.
On purpose.
Oh, absolutely was on purpose.
On purpose. All right, we got some strong beer lined up. We're going to get into best shape of his life season, and then we got some late round players to talk about. We're going to discuss, go through position by position, talk some late round guys, who we prefer, plant some flags on this, try to help you find the players that really win your league. Because the first 6 rounds are a total crapshoot. All right, starting off, Gabe Davis now checking in at 227 pounds, a 17-pound gain. I told you this was a best shape of his life season. 17 pounds of muscle if you saw what he was squatting on Gabe Davis. Makes him bigger. He was already a contested catch guy, so.
They're saying he was 220 by season's end last year, so
yeah,
a 7-pound gain, I don't see as much of a difference.
His ADP can't get much higher, so
it's still not out of the 8th round. It's still 801. I just looked at it. He still hasn't gone higher than the 8th round yet, Dan.
We gotta fix that.
That is, yeah.
He will. I know he
just
will.
Watching Scott Fish, just watching one of our live drafts in Chicago and Scott Fish, he went at the end of the 5th round. So, not to say that Scott Fish is the breather of all redraft ADP, and generally Gabe Davis's high ADP is just been in best ball, but 8th round still acceptable. Him adding on 7-ish pounds shouldn't make a fucking difference.
It's the 801. He'll be in the 7th round by next week. But
by next week, yeah. This doesn't make it his play style. Yes, him getting bigger is a good thing. That's not bad.
No, not at all.
It won't change his role. He's not going to magically become DK Metcalf.
No, because he still doesn't have that type of explosiveness or athleticism. But
yeah.
Oh wow, on Fantasy Pros, he's going at wide receiver 31.
Okay, that's pretty low.
So he's Yeah, no, not really, because it's still around Amon-Ra St. Brown, Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen area.
7th round? 6th round? Somewhere in there?
That's 73.
When you say wide receiver 31, though, I think that's fine. When you say, rounds, okay, yeah, wide receivers bloated up. You notice that, too. But wide receiver 31, I think, is fine.
Yeah,
wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
75.4. Yeah, that's 8th round.
I mean, it's still it's probably where
it's not even a high wide receiver 3.
No, it's a mid. Yeah, it's a back end 3. I mean, that's where most of the truthers should want to take him. You don't want to go any higher than
it's a level where he can outperform his value.
It's top 24. I mean, it's the wide range of outcomes. The amount of Gabe Davis talk between. Not just our show. We don't talk about him that much, honestly.
Compared to everyone else, no.
Go on Twitter and just look up Gabe Davis. You'll find fucking months on months worth of the love, the hate, and I guess kind of in between, because you can't just kind of like Gabe Davis. You either love him or you hate him, apparently.
Within every 7 hours, there's something to talk about Gabe Davis.
It's ridiculous.
Jalen Tolbert heads to training camp as presumed week 1 starter with Gallup out, likely starting the season on the pup.
I love this.
I love this, too. Where are we comfortable taking him? What's the highest he can go? Because that's going to blow it up. You could maybe see a fade when Gallup gets back. Dalton Schultz still hasn't signed.
He's been franchise tagged. Has he not signed his franchise tag yet?
He hasn't signed the franchise tag, and the deadline for...
signed by Friday.
Oh, yeah, well, long-term deal has to be signed by July 15th. Otherwise, he plays on the tag.
Which I assume he will.
Yeah, maybe. I'd assume he will, too. But, I mean, just some things to take into account. Dallas is going to throw over 600 times. To me, Jalen Tolbert being a player I like, you could elevate him probably into that 8th round, and I still feel pretty good about it, even if he tails off towards the back.
Ryan, can you look up back. Where's Russell Gage going? I think that's kind of the marker. Gage is already proven to be a decent target share guy. Where's Russell Gage going right now?
10:03 in PPR.
So I think that should be the range of Tolbert, probably a little behind. We love Tolbert.
That's where you want to get him.
That's where you should. I wouldn't reach up. It just depends on your roster looks, right? It just depends on the range. Like, he shouldn't be a starter. He should be your wide receiver 5 plus.
So,
I think you feel comfortable with.
Round 10, looking at just kind of where some guys are going. Round 10 feels right.
Yeah.
Maybe round 9.
Just like Russell Gage, when the presumed starter comes back. Now, Gage has to compete with Godwin, who's a superstar. Gage has to, Tolbert would have to compete with Gallup. Hasn't reached that levels yet, but both are expected to lose their target volume, or at least lose a bit of their target share when the starters come back.
And is the rumor true that Godwin's looking to come back week 1 now?
I
haven't seen
it at all.
I haven't seen that
I'd be
at all.
shocked if he did.
Most late season ACL tear guys are not being talked about as week 1 starts. So
yeah,
I'd be shocked.
I mean, it could happen.
Could have been a dream I had.
I think in that case, and you fade him a little bit because he's probably going to start off slow or potentially re-injure the other leg, which is pretty common.
Right, or hamstring injuries, which are also pretty common when you come back from ACL injuries too quick. So, Bears acquired N'Keal Harry from the Patriots for a 7th-round pick in 2024. I don't hate this. As a Bears fan, you gave up nothing. You get a former first-round pick who you could argue never got a fair shake. You're going to put him on the field, and you're going to see what you got because, David Moore just got arrested. He's probably going to get cut. And Velus Jones, you have Darnell Mooney, who's a solid 2 and can play out of the slot. Velus Jones is a rookie that, wasn't that highly touted. So I also think N'Keal Harry, if he can be even, a fraction of the potential that we thought he was, that completely changes the outlook of that Bears offense. Now, that's if he's got to perform, which is not a guarantee. To this point, he's been a giant bust. But he's going to get a shot.
I mean, he'll get on the field. There's zero pressure from being a first-round pick. There's zero pressure from playing in a Tom Brady and Bill Belichick-led team.
It's a perfect spot for him.
They're this is his Laquan Treadwell moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has the opportunity to potentially, restart his career, maybe become a Damonte Parker type of guy where he can give you a season, but he's worth Flyers. Like, don't trade for him. Like, don't trade. No. Don't. Like, if he's on the waiver, which he probably should be in Dynasty, then pick him up in these deeper redraft rosters and just throw him on your bench. He should start. Like, is Byron Pringle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Like, is he? Doesn't he have his own off the field shit going on too?
He's a special teamer too. So
yeah,
primarily. So, I mean, that's where Pringle's done his best work as a special teamer. He's not a lock for targets. So, I mean, and Ryan, I get why you're saying you're out, but the thing with the Bears is that, and with those late round guys, especially if they're a guy you're taking at into your bench that's just going to be a churn spot anyway, potentially, it's like, why not?
He's the first one you drop in case someone else really takes off.
Yeah, first or second guy you drop in case somebody else takes off, but you take the flyer and kind of see how the target volume shakes out, week 1, week 2, and if he's going to get, I mean, the Bears are going to be playing from behind, right? If N'Keal Harry's going to get, if Mooney's getting, call it potentially double digits, 9 to 10 targets a game, if he's going to go out there and get 6 or 7 targets a game, Harry is, and show any form of being a red zone threat because contesting catches is where he makes his hay, then you're okay with that in the double-digit rounds of your draft. And that's one, kind of what we're going to be talking about later in the show. But two, it's opportunity, and opportunity makes fantasy points.
Plus, wasn't he looking to switch over to the tight end position in New England before the trade?
There were some conversations about him practicing at tight end. Yeah, there was.
But he didn't actually switch.
No.
So. Is he a Jimmy Graham replacement?
I mean, he is a good blocker, but I don't know if I want to see
I got Cole Kmet.
N'Keal Harry. Yeah. I don't want to see N'Keal Harry play.
Now, they could run him as a big... They could... Yeah, I mean, he needs to play outside. He's always been a contested ball guy. Not a good enough route runner, I think, to play big slot, but... He gets an opportunity. That's what matters here. There's opportunity.
Yeah, it's just another Belichick's failure of wide receiver drafting.
Without two.
It's hard to know. It's hard to know how we don't know how well he interviewed, or I guess how poorly. And sometimes it's just hard to gauge on how these guys, when the fame hits them and when the pressure hits them, how they're going to respond. Like, I have yet to find a statistic that can or a model that can properly tell me to avoid a player based off of worth ethic. Like, if someone makes one of those, you're rich, but good luck figuring that shit out. Like
he plays video games 4 times a day.
He hit the models are perfect on him. He had great film. Film guys loved them. Analytical guys loved them. It was just you can't properly work out between the years.
There wasn't a lot there to hate. I'll give you that. From a
but I mean, I realized he was like the 101 back in the day when he was a rookie.
He was up there.
He's still younger than Velus Jones too, so he's got a chance.
By 5 months. He's got him by 5 months.
All right. Lions beat reporter Benjamin Raven says he doesn't see the Sun God getting fewer than 6 targets a game. So over/under on Amon-Ra St. Brown getting fewer than 6, more than 6 targets a game, especially with Swift and Hawk back.
I think the comfortness that Jared Goff had with him, I think he'll hold 6 to 8. I mean, somewhere in that range,
Pittman
each week. Yeah.
But cheaper.
Yeah,
last year, Michael Pittman.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that being in the realm of possibilities. The thing with the Lions that's going to be interesting, though, right, is you're going to have mouths. You've got Hawk coming back. You got Swift coming back. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown there. Eventually, Jameson Williams is going to get healthy. So,
but Goff has the chemistry already with
Amon-Ra.
With St. Brown. Yeah. With the other two, he has nothing with yet.
Well, I think it's going to depend for, right? Chemistry is a bad. I'll put it this way: chemistry is a bad full season argument. Chemistry is a good early season argument. It's a bad full season argument, in my opinion.
They had a good end of season chemistry.
They had good
from week 13 on. It was
they had a good end of season chemistry. What I am saying is that when you bring in these new guys like DJ Chark, who's there, like you've got Josh Reynolds, who was there last season. You got Quintez Cephas, who flashed a little bit, was out hurt. He's coming back. Lions are going to have options, but what I'm saying is when you talk about chemistry as an argument for I would rather have this guy than the next guy on the same team, what I'm saying is the chemistry argument holds weight early in the season, but training camp's designed to build chemistry. These guys work in the offseason to build chemistry, and that chemistry is going to develop as the year goes on. What I'm saying is not based on last season. It's based on this upcoming season. Chemistry is a bad argument for the full season. You expect that he's going to go a full season, a full camp with, just their DJ Chark out there and not build chemistry?
Oh, no, he will.
Yeah.
And that's the comfort level he has with St. Brown already, I feel, is a lot better.
I think
especially with him playing the slot.
Mm-hmm. So what we'll see here. So he averaged 7 targets per game last year to 21.4 target share last season. Obviously, the final 6 games that he had,
no Hawk,
no Swift,
no
Quintez, who was out targeting them. They traded for Josh Reynolds, and then he got COVID. The one game that Reynolds played, or 2, he out targeted St. Brown. I believe in those games was the primary guy. My concern is how much is Detroit going to throw
the ball
in comparison? A lot of people like to see him improve defense. Good decisions with the offense. These guys are buying into what Dan Campbell's are doing. They were mightily competitive last year in a lot of games that no one thought they should have been. And we know that this team wants to be in a neutral game situation, wants to be a little more run heavy. So you're already taking potential targets away. Thankfully, Goff doesn't run, and St. Brown does play from the slot. But as Hopper, alluded to, you have a lot of people coming back. I don't think St. Brown is going to dip below 20% target share. He is the Lions guy to own. I think that's going to hurt your Quintez guys. It may even hurt Hawk a little bit because as much as we like to talk about Hawk, he hasn't done much either. Like, he's been asked to do more, but he really hasn't hit what we thought he could be, like a George Kittle. And it's someone's going to emerge from this offense, but if Williams is supposed to be good, if Chark's supposed to be decent, if Hawk's good, if Swift's good, that's going to hurt the overall target share amongst everybody. But I do expect St. Brown to be the best. And if they're saying he should get more than 6, well, he got more than 6 per game last year. And he was pretty good.
6
points. He was 10 to 11 last year.
His stretch last year, he had 10 or plus targets. It's the first time a rookie's ever done that during that long of a stretch. Like, he was impressive last year. And he just won't suck. And you didn't add anybody, you didn't add any superstars. You had a fucking DJ Chark.
Yeah.
He's nobody. So he should be fine, but just don't expect around the range he got last year. He had 120 targets. I think that should be a fair outcome.
Yeah, and you said 20% and 20% on how many balls did the Lions throw last year? Did anybody got that handy?
I'll pull it up.
I got it. I didn't know if you had it pulled up already, but I can pull it up.
I had the receivers pulled up. Goff threw 494 passes last year.
Yeah, so, even 20% of 494.
He also missed some games, but yeah.
Across 17 games is 5.8 targets a game. So you're right there, right? So I think 6 is definitely in the realm of possibility, and it is probably the floor.
Yeah, so the offense threw 593. Goff missed 3 games.
Yeah, and
last year it's 593.
So 593 is going to be up above 6.5 a game. So I definitely think 6 targets per game is reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at week 4, week 5, that's where really he had those 6+ targets. That's when Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift were also healthy too.
Yeah.
At the same time, so it's a comfortable level. Like I say, 6 to 8, depending on what they plan on running.
I put him down at about 550, and that's still 6.4 game, and that's even if they shift a little bit more towards the run. So I think it's doable.
If they're more competitive, right? We expect the games. We expect it to be more competitive. They're probably going to throw slightly less, but you get improved division, a little harder schedule. Maybe they'll have to throw a bit more because they're just playing against better teams.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they'll be throwing more.
All right, now we're going to get to the hard-hitting stuff. The Broncos are tailoring the offense around Russell Wilson.
Fucking God, this goddamn guy who posted that.
This is the stuff that the offseason's made of right here.
He's like, if no. That's worse than that's worse than obvious. That's like an insult to the word obvious. Like, come on. I mean, Seattle didn't tailor their offense around Russ, so I mean, I don't know.
I mean, what a unique concept. Why would anybody tailor their offense around the quarterback?
You just spent a fortune to go get.
Well, unless you're on a Matt Nagy offense. If you're on a Matt Nagy offense, you don't do that. But
yeah, yikes.
Otherwise, you do. Dak Prescott is in the best shape he's ever been in, per Dak Prescott. Bucs wide receiver Tyler Johnson could be on the roster bubble after the Bucs signed the top two receivers in the top two receiving yard getters in the nation as undrafted free agents in Jared Stearns and Devin Tompkins. So, again, This is the shit that we're talking about for camp. Tyler Johnson isn't in danger from 2 UDFAs, with Chris Godwin potentially starting the season on the pop. Rashad Penny might be, but Johnson isn't. And Dak Prescott, yeah. Anyway, this is the shit that you get in the offseason. One that I do like, actually. I'll give Lamar some love for a minute because I'm normally not the Lamar naysayer on the show, but I keep it level. Let's put it that way. Lamar Jackson worked to tighten up his throwing motion, and he went from 205 pounds to 220 pounds.
Dude, he looks swole.
First off, Lamar's play style with the added weight is absolutely beautiful because the concern is, can he take hits? But also if they adapt to that to try to trap him in, he might have to break some tackles. He ain't going to juke around everybody. And for him to put on that weight and get up to running back weight, great for his play style. And then tightening up that throwing motion, if that leads to a slight uptick in accuracy and a quicker release, that's going to lead to more success in the passing game. And that's what I've harped on the most. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see what happens. Throw a little water on it again because that's what I do. There were talks last season about him reworking his throwing motion, and it didn't really, transpire. But he's going to get Bateman in a second year. He'll have Andrews. He adds weight, which should help the run. And if he sees a little bit of uptick in his pass efficiency, you're right back to Lamar QB1 conversation in Dynasty.
It's a good thing to see, right? Unfortunately, they didn't really approach the offseason with wanting to add more receiving options, but I mean, you're not taking Lamar because you're expecting to lead the league in passing.
No,
so
you're not.
And with him adding on weight, with him, being able to handle and take on a little more hits. I mean, if Baltimore's playing this right, they got to reduce the amount of hits he takes anyways. The same argument we made about any of these younger QBs after they get their big contract. Teams don't want to see their massive investment potentially get hurt off of something stupid. So
you don't want to see an RG3 all over again.
No. Thank God there's no Mike Shanahan's out there to throw him back out there after it's clearly obvious you shouldn't play. Well, I like because you have Kevin Stefanski doing the same shit to Baker. So,
yep. All right. We said we're going to talk simulate rounders, so we're going to talk simulate the rounders. What we're going to do is we're going to go through position by position. A little bit different for quarterbacks than everything else. Quarterbacks, mostly because I wrote that first. I didn't go by round. Everywhere else I went by round. So actually, you know what? I will go by round with quarterbacks too because I put the round in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go round by round and just kind of pick somebody out if we like them at that value. Or if we want to investigate it a little bit more at that value. And these are all designed to be more late round guys that, we're trying to plant flags on to help you fill out your roster that are going to give you value later in the season because you're going to need them. I say it all the time. I know Dan agrees with it. I'm sure Ryan agrees with it. You don't just win your fantasy league with your first 6-round picks. It's just not how that works. You need depth. You need players that you can rotate in and out. You're going to have injuries. You need to hit on some of these guys. So without further ado, quarterbacks, we're going to do the 2QB ADP, all this per FF Calc. In the 5th round, we'll combine rounds 5 and 6. You have Trey Lance, Matt Ryan, Trevor Lawrence, and Jameis Winston. Anything really interesting at that value there?
I mean, you can shit on Trey Lance all you want, but we know what rushing production does for quarterbacks. They're even mediocre. And if you can get a quarterback with top 5 potential because of his rushing production in the 5th round, I mean, that's someone you can lean on. I mean, it's perfect for that type of spot. Granted, you're going to have to eat some of the off weeks or bad weeks, but again, Deshaun Kaiser had multiple 20-point weeks, and we know how bad Deshaun Kaiser was. So,
I think the only thing that I can shit on with Trey Lance is the fact that Justin Fields is a lot cheaper, and you can make the same argument.
That too, it is literally the same argument.
Yeah.
But then you can also, then why are we taking Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts in the 1st round?
Right.
Because they don't have Garoppolo back behind them.
And that's
I think Garoppolo's going to get moved. I actually do believe those rumors.
Yeah, well, Seattle's been on everybody, right?
They have been. Someone's going to get hurt, though. God damn it. Let's hope not, but somebody will.
I think that you can make a compelling argument for Matt Ryan here, just given that, he went to a better offense, should have some left in the tank, and he's got some weapons again after, a year of Atlanta trading them all away. I also think, though, that you could make a compelling argument for Trevor Lawrence when you really dive into what he had. There was 8th in air yards. He was 4th in money throws, 2nd in pressure throws, which means he was under pressure shitload. Danger plays, interceptable passes, trying to rush it. If the protection gets a little bit better for him on a better offense that can scheme for him, which we fully expect it to, you're going to see that go up a little bit. Air yards per attempt, he was right in the middle of the pack. You've got an improved wide receiver core here, and that's weird to say when what you added was Zay Jones and Christian Kirk, but he was throwing to freaking Jamal Agnew. Laquan Treadwell, right. You bring in Evan Ingram, who's an upgrade at tight end. So while it's not high, the Jaguars should still be behind in games. He's going to throw a shitload, and if the efficiency ticks up, that's perfectly fine. I think is a 5th round quarterback, and he may even outperform a guy like Matt Ryan.
That's what I think too. Young age, all new talent around him, the upgrade of the offensive line, and the news of Travis Etienne looking like phenomenal out there right now. I think will just help boost him in that passing game.
So we have a little insider information because we know a guy that plays golf with Dan Arnold, and Dan Arnold told him, watch out for the Jaguars. So you remember Derek Hubbard? Remember the guy that we used to read off? Yeah, his wife is good friends with Dan Arnold's wife, and they play golf together.
Huh.
And he reached out. He goes, Dan Arnold loves this offense, and Etienne's ungodly.
Awesome.
So draft A, you should already be trying to get some Jaguars. We didn't mention the biggest upgrade. That's adding Doug Peterson.
Right.
You're adding a more stable coaching staff who worked with a similar prospect.
I hinted at
Carson Wentz.
I hinted at it when I said an offense that should be better run and more efficient.
Yeah. And then we may not love the additions as a whole, at receivers, but as you mentioned, they're much improved in receiving core. And Lawrence just in year 2, this is a leap. We can't expect year 1 guys to go out and be Justin Herbert,
right,
or be even Baker Mayfield or Lamar Jackson with his rushing ability. It's what Lawrence did last year was so impressive with how bad that fucking team was. Being top 5 in money throws. Mm-hmm. That's and the offense just got better. He got better. He wasn't good, but he got a lot better.
And they had to overpay for a lot of those players to come there too. Because who wants to come to Jacksonville? No one's going to come there wanting to go play there. You have to give them bags of money to
give them a reason. That's why they paid Christian Kirk what they paid Christian Kirk. Let's get somebody here and look, show some competitiveness, and then see what we can attract. ADPs on them, by the way. Lance is the 503, Ryan 511, Lawrence is at 602. Next 2 rounds, 7-8, you've got Tua Tagovailoa Justin Fields, Zack Wilson, Carson Wentz.
Zack Wilson.
I'll get to Zack Wilson in a minute.
Mr. Cougar Hunter.
I'm already calling dibs on Zack Wilson for this.
You can have.
discussion.
You can have. I'll take Justin Fields real quick. Look,
Stacey's mom has got it going on.
Yeah.
I take what I said about Trey Lance out of the Justin Fields, and he has. I think he has a coordinator that's more that wants to be more run focused with their quarterbacks too. So.
And he's going almost 3 rounds later.
Yeah. So
So
if you like Jalen Hurts and you like, Trey Lance, may I give you an 8th round version in Justin Fields?
Yeah.
That can be your QB3.
Yep.
Konami code.
Yep.
Do you got somebody here, Ryan, you want to throw out?
I mean, I would take Tua, but just going to 702 seems kind of a little early for me based on what he has around him. Like, they actually finally upgraded that offensive line, which was horrible last year.
In 2 quarterback?
Yeah, it says 702.
Huh.
I'm looking at the wrong one.
He's at 702. No, what I'm saying is too early in 2 quarterback, given that, you get, Wilson and Wentz are, the 9th, and then it gets or in the 8th, and then it gets real ugly after that.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
well,
I get that gets
sorry, there are some guys that I like a little bit later than that, but given what they added around Tua, I think I'm okay with that.
I thought he'd be up there in the Matt Ryan range. You don't improve that much improvement to the receiving core than not want to throw. I guess we'll see what Mike McDaniels brings over from San Fran.
That's true. It could be a little more run focused, which could throw some water on that.
If I look at Roy Tua was playing last year, he's more like a game manager last year. So it's like, do we get to see the true Tua? Basically, like where you're seeing him going at 702, you're kind of hoping that he gets to be unleashed like he was in Alabama, where he's just throwing.
2 years removed from the hip injury, right? Then you don't bring in Tyreek Hill to want to run the football more. And with Mike McDaniel's learning from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, he's going to build upon their strengths. Kyle Shanahan with Atlanta, they were a top 5-7 passing offense. He goes to San Francisco, the focus gets changed to more of a run team. Here we are. Mike McDaniel's has a strong supporting cast for Tua. They're not just going to run the ball 600 times.
And he knows how to build teams around the players he has. Like he knows he can switch it up back and forth.
Hopefully he'll learn that from Kyle Shanahan, but there's no excuse for Tua. I think Tua's 7th round it's a little low, but 6th round I think is probably where he should be.
And I will say this too about unlocking Tua, right? And it does. I don't disagree. It does depend on what McDaniel's going to do, but he was 31st in air yards per attempt in that offense they were running last year. They revamped it. They bring in Tyreek Hill. That leads to deep balls. And if you look at some of these other numbers, 1st in deep ball completion percentage, 3rd in accuracy rating, 9th in true completion percentage, 10th in pressured completion percentage, 4th in play action, 1st in red zone, 10th clean pocket, while he was 2nd protection rate. You bring in 12th under pressure, by the way. 6th in deep ball accuracy rating. 2nd in red zone accuracy rating. So not percentages, but the actual quarterback ratings. Everything points to get this offense some more freaking ADOT, and even if the accuracy falls off a little bit, even if he's not 1st in deep ball completion percentage, if he's 4th or 5th, Tyreek Hill said it. He would take Tua's accuracy over Mahomes. Not necessarily arm talent, but accuracy.
That's true.
There are things here to unlock. There is upside to Tua Tagovailoa.
He was one of the best college quarterbacks of all time. That just doesn't happen because you play for Bama. You got to have some talent there too.
My only question is, are they going to pass enough, given the offense?
To make it feasible?
Yeah.
Especially with Chase Edmonds and the rest of the running back crew there.
Yep.
He's got 2 strong receivers and a above average tight end. And they brought in Cedric Wilson. I'm not saying Cedric Wilson's the reason that he's going to be unlocked.
No, but Cedric Wilson was very good last year out of the slot.
I'm just saying you don't fucking trade that much. You don't trade a 1st rounder and make Tyreek Hill the highest paid receiver to run the football more. You don't. If he does, he should get fired after the 1st year.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see if that's the case. But I trust Mike McDaniels to have a decent idea on how to utilize the skill set in his offense just from being under Kyle Shanahan and watching Shanahan do the same thing over his coaching career.
Indeed.
I mean, he made Kirk Cousins fucking a household name. I mean, come on.
Yep. All right. So let's talk Zack Wilson for a minute. And I'm
going on mute. It's all you.
Not just talking about the fact that he fucked his mom's best friend, making him the best pick here. But you add Garrett Wilson to this offense with the Elijah Moore train, with Corey Davis from last year, who's got rapport with. Brought back Braxton Berrios, signed CJ Uzama and Tyler Conklin, which not superstars at tight end does solidify it. You draft Breece Hall to create a 1-2 punch with Michael Carter. I like Zack Wilson as a quarterback too. This is a guy that we know can pick up some yards on the ground. That, again, better offense built up around him. They built up the offensive line a bit. They built up the defense. There are things with the Jets to like. Everybody thought they killed their draft, and I think Zack Wilson's set to take the next step. He was a 2 steps forward, 1 step back type of guy, per the way Miguel was breaking down quarterbacks anyway, which was really fun to watch as well. Had, outside of Mac Jones, the best rookie quarterback season last year, and he's been given a lot of tools to succeed. You give me Zack Wilson at the end of the 8th round, which is, where he's going right now, 809 for a quarterback too. I'm okay with that. Now, I don't want to go in 2 quarterback leagues with Zack Wilson alone in that range, but I feel pretty confident about him having some very, very good games and potentially taking that next step. Also, by the way, very, very good on the deep ball front. And also, by the way, his receivers were 3rd in drop passes.
Got a lot to improve on, right? Just like we talk about with Fields, just like we talk about with Lawrence. Outside of, thankfully with Lawrence, his team decided to add more, to around him. Elijah Moore should be healthy. You still have Corey Davis. You draft Garrett Wilson. You basically, tell your guy it's, kind of put up or shut up. Jets have been bad for so long. Wilson doesn't have quite the same type of leash. He had a slight improvement towards the end of last year, which kind of gives us a little bit of hope. I think the best we can hope for is that he's game manager plus. I mean, last year's numbers were pretty bad, right? And it's not like the division he played with got worse. He's going to throw a lot. The Jets may have improved defensively, but it's just still one of the better, divisions in football, while also playing one of the best conferences in football. So there's a lot of room for Wilson to show some of that upside, especially if he starts to run a little bit more, which he should. Hopefully he can kind of reach the Daniel Jones type of levels where he can give you the 50, 60, the 30 to 50 yard games on the ground, and then also improve as a passer.
So
I wouldn't go with him as my 2. I have no problem with him as a 3 and 2 QB super flex. Because there is a bit of that downside with him. He's not safe, and he doesn't have quite the boom upside. So
there,
as a 3, I think I feel more comfortable with him.
I do want to say this. I like that they got him help at the receiver position as I look through some of these advanced metrics. Receivers are 3rd in drop passes. They were 39th in yards after catch per target. They were 32nd in receiver target separation, which is all not signs of not having a good receiving core. The improvements there alone can bump him up just a bit, especially when you take into effect that he was number 1 in accuracy rating against man, 13th in accuracy rating against zone, which is not bad at all, 5th in deep ball. And he also threw the 11th most times against man coverage to get that number 1 accuracy rating. There are things there to like in Zack Wilson's underlying numbers. The receiving core, based on what I'm seeing here, with the drop passes, lack of separation, lack of yards after catch, just didn't do him a ton of favors. And I think that the improvement there is enough to kind of bump him up to the next level with it, even if everything else stays consistent.
Well, I mean, he has to also improve, right? You look at the target separation, you look at yards after the catch. That's not all just on the receiver. That's also on the quarterback himself.
Is Zack Wilson out there running yards, helping them separate?
Zack Wilson's the one.
He's throwing the ball.
He's got to place the ball properly to create yards after the catch.
To create yards after the catch, not target separation. What's Zack Wilson going to do to help his fucking receivers separate? Is he going to go run their route for them? Because he's first in accuracy against man and 13th against zone. So unless Zack Wilson's out there running the route for him, he ain't helping them separate. If you're not
he's not putting the ball in a catchable area and those guys got to stop, you're going to lose separation there.
Is he not putting the ball in a catchable area when you're top 15 in both accuracy versus man and zone?
I hope to God that he can be better under pressure too. I hope to God that he can be better in clean pressure.
What? You hope that he can be better in clean pressure? Is he going to block?
He was 24th against clean. Like he was 24th.
Is he going to block? Is he going to block for himself too? Is he just playing every position on the offense because he was 24th in clean pocket accuracy? Yes, but I believe 14th in protection rate. Improve on that a little bit. But if your receivers can separate, you don't hold the ball as fucking long, and you're not under pressure.
Actually, more so the separation is probably on the play calling, too.
All right, so what we came down to is that Zack Wilson's going to run his own routes. He's going to block for himself. He's going to keep the same accuracy numbers.
He's also got to improve, too.
We know that. We don't put those expectations on Trey Lance. Trey Lance ain't going to have to block for himself or create his own
he has
separation.
the same expectations like as anybody else. And now because he's out there as a MILF separation. Because now he's out there as a MILF hunter, he's going to have even bigger target on his back.
I have Zack Wilson than Trey Lance. I'm not going to lie. I just don't like fantasy-wise, I can see where people are going, but real life-wise, I can't see him lasting.
What, Trey Lance?
Yeah, Trey Lance.
Yeah,
but for Zack Wilson, we've been so spoiled lately with these past few years with these quarterbacks going in the first round, coming out and being QB1s on our fantasy team. And then all we want to do is give up on them that second year because we don't think they can do this. They can't improve on that. And what the Jets have been doing is trying to build around Zack Wilson, give him better receivers. Because last year he didn't have Elijah Moore all year. He didn't have Corey Davis all year. He barely had anyone really to throw to.
Fuck, he was barely around himself.
Yeah.
He's hurt too.
He caught mono, probably been making out with.
He did not. I don't think he wants to go the Sam Darnold route. That's not a route you want to see him.
It was a sprained PCL. My bad. Wrong Jets quarterback.
I do not want to see Zack Wilson go down the Sam.
By the way, 12th in accuracy rating. By the way, just saying. I just think.
Yeah, I mean, these stats. I mean, it's just like we got to give them more than just 1 year and not say, yeah, he's a bust or yeah, he's great. Let's see how this next year improves. The team's just improving in general.
And I've said it myself, Dan.
I hope they all improve.
I've said it
every
myself.
One of them improves.
He doesn't improve this year. He has no excuse.
It doesn't help that he's on a team that constantly underperforms and he plays in New York. Sometimes it just doesn't fall in the right places for them to succeed. Lot of pressure on Wilson. Lot of pressure. And I hope the dude comes out swinging because I have a lot of Elijah Moore shares. A big Elijah Moore fan. Topper, you're in the same boat. Ryan, you're in the same boat with us. And we all like Garrett Wilson. And we all like Breece Hall. And the offense,
and we all like Zack Wilson.
Of his offense.
We all like Zack Wilson.
We all like Zack Wilson.
Yeah, we love Zack Wilson.
And we all love him even more after the news. So let's just...
By the way, good Stephen A. Smith moment there. We were just yelling at each other for a minute. Cheers.
Plus, I don't see the David Carr aspect coming for Zack Wilson either.
He's got a better arm than Derek Carr. Fuck Derek. He's got a better arm.
David Carr.
David Carr.
He said David
I'm sorry.
Carr.
Well, Jesus.
David Carr.
Don't talk about David. I don't know if he was actually very good, but Houston, man, was fucking horrible to him.
I'm just glad we got through this whole grouping without talking about Carson Wentz.
Who?
Exactly. All right.
Makes me too nervous.
Rounds 9 and 10, you have the rapist, Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill isn't a rapist. I'm talking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Marcus Mariota, Jared Goff. There's only one guy here I'm interested in.
Danny Dimes?
No, not a chance.
At least Dimes got Lawrence got OC improvements, and he's got a rushing upside, right? He's got proven rushing upside, so and he's cheap-ish. That's the only good thing I'm going to say about him.
10th round in Superflex. We just talked about how improved the Lions might be. Jared Goff, even if he only throws 550 times, we just talked about what they added around him. I like Jared Goff in the 10th round. I think it's solid floor. I think that there's not a lot of upside to Jared Goff, but I think that it's solid floor. It's an offense that's much improved. I think he can outperform that value and be a pretty serviceable, pretty solid back-end quarterback. I would take Jared Goff in the 10th over Derek Carr in the 6th, if given the option.
If you punt either the quarterback or your second QB, Goff's not the worst. Like he fits that true QB2 and super flex mold where you kind of want a little bit of safety. He doesn't, as Hopper, as you mentioned, doesn't have the upside, but he should improve just even on from last year's numbers. So he's a fine QB2 if you punt, the position. That's about where I land on him. Like he's on an upside 3 for me, so I wouldn't go that far. But if he's a fine guy if you wait on your second QB.
He's also a fine guy that if you want to take a second QB with more upside that doesn't have much of a floor, like the Zack Wilsons, the Justin Fields of the world, that at least is going to give you floor, and if you need to stabilize, you can.
This is why you go QB early. Yeah. just avoid yourself trying to load up with, 2 of Justin Fields and Zack Wilsons and the Jarrick Goffs. Do yourself a favor and at least go quarterback. Your first QB should be early.
Yeah, but I got no problem with Goff in the 10th.
Nope, I don't either.
And actually, down here in the 11th, there's 2 guys I kind of like. So, 11th round, this is where we end quarterbacks. It's Mitch Trubisky, Davis Mills, Baker Mayfield, and Mac Jones. Anyone else?
Mac Jones is going behind Jared Goff.
Mac is that low?
It's like the Christian Kirk of QBs.
Yeah.
Why is he going so low? God, nobody dislikes him too, which makes no sense.
Yeah, he's going that low, and then the Mitch Trubisky in Pittsburgh, who I think will be more protected. That's flash upside. I mean, a lot of people are out on him because of what happened with the Bears, but you can't also forget that you flashed some true arm talent, some true rushing ability, and some true mobility to where, he's with a good coaching staff. He's with a good offense. There are some things there that could be unlocked that, again, if I'm pairing guys up, let's say that I go the other way and take Matt Ryan as my quarterback too, who is a floor guy up at that level. Maybe I solidify it with some Mitch Trubisky upside.
There's a strong chance he could. I mean, we've talked about it a lot. He could definitely play a full season if Pittsburgh is competitive all year.
I'm all for Baker Mayfield. Not gonna lie,
So-
Baker Mayfield fan account, man. I can't give up on him. Just the way he plays, man. He's just a freaking go-getter. And I feel like Carolina, they've already talked about extending him mid-season, but it's I almost feel comfortable that they're already putting him at QB1 there over Sam Darnold.
God, he fucking should be.
He'll easily get it.
It's just, I wouldn't be shocked if they just cut him anyways. They say, fuck it, we're cutting Darnold and we'll put, Matt Corral behind Baker.
They'll take isn't it $18 million hit they have to take too?
Dude, we've seen Philadelphia trade Carson Wentz with a $33 million, dead cap hit. I mean, teams don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah, Carson Wentz got traded twice in 3 years.
Dan's just take the hit.
Just take the hit.
Just take the hit. Flipping through some of Trubisky's numbers here with the Bears.
I do like the rushing 4. This is his best receiving core he's had.
Yeah.
He's going to have no pressure outside of just, the team's not built to feature him. It's built to be efficient on the ground.
And feature Najee, but they're going to need him some, and there's going to be floor there, and he's going in the 11th round. So I don't, if he doesn't hit, he doesn't hit. If he does hit, you've got a quarterback too with solid floor and some upside to him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's the 14th quarterback on this list, and I didn't start this list until the 6th round. That means he's going somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah. I mean, people are, are obviously a little scared off because of the Pickett pick and there's always that concern if Pittsburgh struggles to start off, they can easily move off of him, and then play their first round pick. But you're not spending up to take Trubisky. Like he's still a guy that you just draft late as your QB4 or QB3, and you just ride it out.
If you guys are looking to go QB4, because I went further down, 1305 is Jimmy Garoppolo. Would you still just?
He's not going to fucking play in San Francisco this year, Ryan. Let's get serious.
He's going somewhere. He's going somewhere.
He's going to Seattle. He gets to throw to the Metcalf and Lockett and just hand the ball off a bunch to Rashad Penny and Kenny Walker.
Ugh, that's gonna be so gross.
No, that team's going to be so bad.
That team is going to be pretty gross.
No, I mean there's bad, and then there's like Seattle Seahawks.
There's bad, there's badder, there's worse, there's worser, and then there's Pete Carroll, Seattle Seahawks.
I mean, it's so pathetic, like how they just looked like in their whole entire draft. It's like they traded Russell Wilson. They showed their hand in the draft by drafting offensive lineman and a running back in between that. It's like, okay, you guys are kind of showing that you just want to run the ball. So what are you doing, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett? Just get rid of them and go, run the wing T offense.
God, just imagine if Pete Carroll didn't win that Super Bowl. Just imagine if Pete Carroll, if Pete Carroll wasn't, semi-gifted the Legion of Boom. He'd be out of here, and we would have a whole new coordinator, not fucking ruining DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
Imagine if Pete Carroll actually would have stayed at USC, actually got in trouble there, and never been able to coach ever again. Before he left.
Fuck Pete Carroll.
So I think my whole ass camera just froze. Can you guys still hear me at least?
No, it's still, yeah. We can still hear you, yeah. But it's definitely frozen.
Yeah, I just lost like my entire back panel of USB ports. This is going great.
God, love it. Just
it's a good Wednesday.
All right, I'm going to try to at least have a mouse. We'll try this, solve this shit later. And my face is just going to be frozen, I guess.
Maybe it'll fix itself eventually.
I doubt it.
It did last week, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Here, maybe I can do this. Maybe if I stop it and then start it again. Nope, now it's just black. Great.
Love it.
Awesome.
That's okay.
Awesome.
Let's do it that way. Wait, hold on. I might be able to do something cooler with this.
You're going to put Zack Wilson on, aren't you?
Do I have a picture of Zack Wilson?
I feel like you should. I feel like we did it last year and we did our backgrounds last year.
I don't know what I have a picture of. That'll work. Let's do that for now.
Oh, there you go.
Little Drew Lock. I'll keep screwing with it.
The true goat.
Hey, I'm going to do a beer review now because I'm out of beer and I want another thing to drink, but I need to keep a little bit of this to review it. So we're going to do that a little early.
Okay.
Beer review.
All right, Dan, go ahead.
All right. Again, I am drinking the Schutz' 32nd anniversary Black Butte. This is aged in rum barrels. This is their Imperial Porter. For those wondering, because I didn't say when we previewed it, it's clocks in at 13.4%. I don't get so much of the rum barrels. It's a little there. There's some spice there to it. There's some of the sweetness to it. Obviously, that's going to be overshadowed by the dark fruits and the chocolate notes from the malt and just from the porter itself. It's very classy. It's very strong. It's pretty sweet. But it's a good sipper after a long day of work. So I'm all here for it.
Should I go and let you know how nasty this beer is?
Sure.
Or did we lose Hopper on that one?
No, you didn't lose me. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm still screwing with some tech stuff. Hold on.
So I had a Natty Daddy, and oh my god, that malt beer. The first sip tastes really bad. The seventh sip tastes really bad. And the last sip I just took, no matter what temperature this beer is, cold, cold, warm, it just gets worse as it goes. But I see why it's cheap, why it's like $1 something a can for a 25 ounce, and I'll probably be feeling it's a headache waiting to happen.
You did it for the people.
I did it for the people. Next week, I'm going to do another crappy beer.
Holy Christ. Dan, I might be in the market to just do the new desktop thing with you here. But I'll build it, but still. It's been rough. All right, cool.
Hey!
So while we were doing that, I fixed my video, and I fixed my video. I fixed my keyboard and mouse, and I fixed the audio. So that's good. Got a little buzzy there for a second. And I'm drinking a 7% Maybach, which has nothing to do with Maybach, which has nothing to do with any of this, called Goat Destroyer from Old Irving. So Maybach's being a little hoppier. The way that I brewed mine was to have a little bit more of a fruity and floral note to it. This one does the same thing. The grain bill's definitely there to hold it up. It's got that bready, toasty note, that sweetness without being caramely, which is what you want out of a good like German-style beer. A lot of Europeans are more like malty, biscuity sweet, not so much, caramely sweet. So this one does a good job with keeping the sweetness in check with some of those bready notes. The hop notes are definitely there. Color on it's pretty good. Good clarity. Drinks real easy for a 7% or two. So overall, I think that they knocked this one out of the park. That's like Dexter Fowler did in the first at bat of that game. So hell of a job to Old Irving. Look forward to trying more of your beer. It's the second or third thing I've had from you on the show, and it's very, very good. All right, let's go to running backs. So same thing. Running backs are going to pick it up. Half PPR in round 7. So these are 7th round or later running backs. If there's somebody you want to talk about or dive into, we will. Otherwise, we'll keep it moving. 7th round, you have Rashad Penny, Devin Singletary, Michael Carter. Anybody there you're particularly interested in?
I mean, Devin Singletary is should get the bulk of the, at least bulk of the carries. Top flight offense, going to have his scoring opportunities, but that's about it.
Agree.
Yeah, Rashad Penny's a little too injury prone. I think that, if I'm going with the back on the Seahawks, it's probably going to be Kenneth Walker late and show me what the rookie can do.
I want nothing of it.
Yeah, if I'm going back-to-back running back there, trying to guess which one I want, I would take Singletary first and then grab Penny next.
I want a receiver in that range. That's what those running backs
receivers in that range are pretty nice. When we get to receiver, I don't actually pick them up in the 8th round because the receivers in the 7th are still pretty good. So, and don't have a lot of debate to them. If I'm going there, Singletary is definitely what I want in the 7th round out of those guys. Again, Penny I don't have a lot of interest in. That should surprise nobody that's a long-time listener to the show. Walker and Carson are going around later. Actually, I didn't put exact ADPs on this, but they're probably going more closer to a round and a half later in round 8. So I think that I would rather have either of those two, particularly the rookie and the explosiveness in Walker in the 8th round versus Penny in the early 7th with some of those wide receivers that are still there in the 7th, especially because the wide receivers in the 8th, they're good. But you get down to that round 8, 9, there's value to be had, but you've really got to pinpoint your guys. So if you miss on one of them.
Yeah.
Round 8, because I've talked about it, you've got James Robinson, Chase Edmonds, Alex Madison, Chris Carson, Kenneth Walker. And these are in order from early round 8 to late round 8.
Oh man. I think it's slightly too early to go. I don't want to go premium handcuffs just yet.
With Madison? No, I'm with you there.
It's so tough to want to take a non-starting running back in the 8th round when I know there's still good receiving talent there.
There's non-starters going in the
quarterbacks.
6th round. I mean, that's where Pollard's going. You won't hear him on this list because he's all the way up to round 6.
Yeah. It's tough for me to want to go that high. Yeah, these are premium handcuffs that can definitely win you some weeks if the starter goes down. Mm-hmm. But you're betting on injuries with a position that's so, 50-50 with it that you're not going to feel good dropping. Even dropping your premium handcuff because he hasn't played in 10 weeks or hasn't done shit in 10 weeks. So
I think there's a little more here than premium handcuffs and I'll say this. Doug Peterson in Philly always used more than one back. So that gives James Robinson some value. He's coming off an injury, but that gives him potentially some value beyond just being a premium tier handcuff. We haven't seen ETN play, also coming off of injury.
True.
We expect ETN to be very involved in the receiving game, but what's he going to give you as a rusher? So you do have some value there in Robinson.
Isn't Robinson coming off a major injury himself? Didn't he tear his Achilles?
Yeah, they're both coming off of major injuries.
Yeah, so just off that alone, that's oof.
And his Achilles was a late season too.
Yeah.
So Chase Edmonds, though, is the other one you make that argument with because
I forgot about Edmonds.
Because McDaniel also very, very much uses more than one back. Mostert has not been a model for health. And I think that Chase Edmonds also probably has some built-in value in an offense that uses running back by committee a lot behind a guy that has not been able to stay healthy the last couple of years. So you've got some insulated value on top of a premium tier cuff. And then Kenneth Walker as well. I know that there's a lot around Rashad Penny and, Dan, you're not high on this one, but, Chris Carson I don't think is going to play again.
No, that I definitely agree with.
And Rashad Penny, you talk about not a model for health. Again, not a model for health. And the Seahawks historically, under Pete Carroll, run the football damn near more than any other team and definitely more than they pass. And with Drew Lock and Geno Smith under center, I think that there's a good chance that even if they're behind, they run more than they pass. Now, the question there is, who's catching passes, right? We think Walker looks comfortable doing it, but he didn't do it a lot in college. If Carson never plays again, Penny's not a pass catcher either. So I just think that Walker here at this position, I'm with you. I would rather have the 8th round wide receivers that are available. But if I am looking running back here, it's either Edmonds or Walker, and I think I would go Walker because the upside is that much better in the crapshoot that is running backs. And
to me,
also,
it's only Edmonds there.
And at this stage, though, you're also drafting your 4th or your 5th running back potentially.
Ryan, what are your thoughts? We've been taking up a lot of the talking time like we normally do, so
no, it's
want to get you in there.
I would honestly take Chase Edmonds. If you look at Edmonds, he was the first running back that was, acquired in free agency. He signed first out of anyone. So Mike McDaniel kind of looks at him as that running back he kind of wants to give the ball to, have him as the main running back. So I feel like you're getting a nice back-end 2 type of running back here late. Someone who's like RB 23, 24, 25-ish range. So with like we already said with Tua, the improved offensive line, Tua and everything else around him, the defenses won't be focused on just stopping the running game. They have to stop everything else around that.
How do you like the Evans call? I mean, he's a proven pass catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Tua's proven to use the check down. I forgot you mentioned him. He's the only one on this list in this range that I have any comfort taking, because he is still a starter. He's going to start over Mostert. There's no way that I see Mostert starting ahead of him. I've dove in a lot about the Seattle offense and Kenneth Walker, so I'm not going to rehash my thoughts there. But it's still all in all, it's still a rich range to go for premium handcuffs. But they get a starter in Edmonds, who still has a chance to be supplanted. There's nobody really good in that backfield, even behind him. But are we really super happy about Sony Michel? Myles Gaskin's buried, and Mostert can't stay healthy, and he's been overused, and he's undersized too. So it's give me Edmonds in that range, and probably only back I have any real confidence in beyond the injuries that may happen.
Well, if you didn't like that, this 9th round's going to be a lot uglier.
At least it's the 9th round.
I don't think there's anybody I want to talk about in the 9th round. That's Ramondre Stevenson, Darrell Henderson, Ronald Jones, and Raheem Mostert.
Oh God, no! Please, Ryan. You have anyone you want to talk about here?
No.
All right, good. Moving on.
Okay, great.
It's like the
Damn it,
Daddy.
Ryan! Don't ruin it.
It's like the natty daddy right now,
Oh, okay.
Talk about.
Fair enough. Moving to the 10 plus rounds. So this is anybody after round 10. Marlon Mack, James Cook. See you guys nodding. Let's talk Mack for a second. Or is
He
that
should be the starter day one.
Yeah, that's what I like too. Starter day one, and yeah, it's a bad offense, but is it truly a bad offense with Marlon Mack?
It's as bad as Seattle, and I can get Marlon Mack 3 rounds after Kenneth Walker to Rashad Penny. So thank you. I'll take that instead.
And it's a Lovie Smith offense, and Lovie Smith offenses. I mean, one, they use more than one back, but two, they run.
Yeah, they do.
They run footballs. So
that's usually what running backs do. They run the football.
that's true.
Well,
some of them catch.
I hope
too.
so. Some of them,
Don't tell James White that.
Ooh.
or even James Cook at this point.
Or even James Cook at this point. The next
Naheem
guy on the
Hines
list.
even.
Or Naeem Hines, who's also on this
Naeem
list. Or
Hines.
Kenny Gainwell, who's also on this list. Gus Edwards. Anyway, James Cook, Naeem Hines, Gus Edwards, Kenny Gainwell, J.D. McKissick. So a lot of pass catchers there. Tyler Algier. I want to pause here for a second. Atlanta's backfield's wide open.
It is.
And Algier is a guy that I thought didn't get enough love during draft season. And part of that's my fault. I should have hyped him up more. A lot of my hype went towards the Keontae Ingrams and Rashad Whites and Tyler Beatty's of the world. I had Algier higher than a couple of those guys. And he's going to get a shot. You drafted a rookie running back. You're not going to give all those carries to Damien Williams. He's somebody I'm watching very closely through camp because I think he does have the shot to take carries and end up getting the bulk of the carries in Atlanta, and you're getting him in the 10th plus round right now. So
He's the true definition of it. Like between him and Williams, you don't want to draft both. Then the offense is bad, but doesn't hurt to draft either of them because
they're both
someone's going to get production, and if one of them gets hurt,
yeah,
there's
That's
value.
true.
There's value into at least the touches they'll get.
That's a true zero RB approach too, which I don't follow because I don't like it. I don't think it works, but
no,
there's
I
those
don't
believers
either.
out
But
there.
I'm happy taking Tyler Algier as my 6th running back or 7th running back, and I mean when we're going to hear us say this a lot through redraft season, which we're kind of getting into now, and that is, can they outperform their ADP? That's why we like Marlon Mack here. That's why we like Tyler Algier here. That's why David Williams, and who's going, I think, in the 12th, is decent here. Gus Edwards for the Ravens. Don't want to gloss over that. I mean, there's definitely value here that can outperform a 10th round ADP.
I like Gus Edwards a lot too. He's another name I like to go upon over like J.K. Dobbins just because the Baltimore
So much more value there. Yeah.
They want to be more of a run-focused offense, and it's like they're not going to give J.K. Dobbins all the carries. Edwards is going to get in there and look how much later you're getting them compared to the peak I feel like that you're drafting J.K. Dobbins at.
Yeah.
Just keep your eye on the health of that Ravens backfield. I mean, yeah, they're gonna definitely run more than they did last year, and I think you're gonna see the running backs get a little more involved in the passing game too. We saw glimpses of that last year with Lamar. And we saw some of these running backs get a little more involved. There's a chance he can start checking down a little bit more to reduce the amount of hits that he takes.
Yep. Mark Ingram, we've talked about him a little bit, especially with Kamara suspension coming down. There's nothing else in New Orleans at the moment. Sonny Michel, another member of that Miami backfield, who looked good with the Rams in limited duty, but could easily be the running back 3 as well. So not as much of a lock. Brian Robinson's another one here that's kind of interesting, but he's not going to get pass catching work. They've talked about wanting to create the Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams 2-headed attack here. But then you go back and look at Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams consistency numbers, and neither guy was really that consistent. They cut into each other's workload a lot.
They're always hurt. Well, it's like they
when one of them
kept flip flopping.
Yeah, when one of them was hurt, the other one took off. So,
and that's not an offense that I really want to attack. The in between the tackles grinder. So
an offense that I do want to attack, and a table that you've heard me pound, is Jarrick McKinnon right now going in the 11th. He had a great playoff run. Finally back from the knee injury. Great playoff run. Looked fantastic in that Chiefs offense, and that is a wide open backfield.
Where's Clyde going? I'm just wondering.
5th?
Okay, don't talk about my CH like that. I can't let him go.
I mean, I took him in Scott Fish, but I also took, McKinnon. Like, just like the Niners, like you want to, take running backs and good offenses, especially ones that get involved in the
especially in the double-digit rounds.
Yeah, like if they don't hit, you cut them, and that's all these guys that we're talking about right now. All fit under that billing. It's the reason why they're going in double-digit rounds. But you can definitely like this is where you start to find, the true meat and potatoes of your roster is the ones that are going to help you push over your opponents during, the season. You don't win your league in the draft at any point. You win your leagues playing waivers and, being, in those good positions. But you can definitely find, some of these studs back here. So this is just as important as even your first few picks. Like, getting these picks right and getting ahead of the field is huge.
Yep. And then Damien Pierce, Damien Williams. Pierce, kind of the same thing. If Mac, for whatever reason, is rusty, Pierce is the next guy in line. Okay, fine, I can see that. And then Damien Williams, we talked about it with Algier as well. I mean, look, if Algier is not the rookie people think it is, then it's going to be Damien Williams. So, if you get one of these guys in an unsettled backfield, fine. You're just going to turn them if they don't hit, and if they do, then go for it. I prefer Mac and Algier to, especially, watching Williams at the Bears last year, who couldn't beat out Khalil Herbert for touches when David Montgomery went down. But Damien Pierce is a guy a lot of us like through draft season. And if Marlon Mack struggles at all, Damien Pierce is going to get some work. And Damien Pierce might get some work anyway. I mentioned Lovie Smith likes to use two backs. You had to go back to kind of the Thomas Jones, Cedric Benson days.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how long Lovie Smith's been around.
That's a long fucking day.
He will use two backs. And there's not a lot of passing upside here. So, but Mac's gonna get the receiving work, and I think that gives him the edge.
Where's Rashad White?
Rashad White is he's somewhere in that double-digit round range as well, I think.
Book it. Draft him and sit on him. Because Fournette's never played a full season, and Rashad White's got the skill set that can be unlocked with
the Keyshawn Vaughn disrespect is not something I will stand for.
Bruh. It's Rashad White.
Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah, Rashad White.
Leonard Fournette's back on the treadmill. He's going to be back in football shape in no time.
No, he's never played a full season. Ever.
So you're drafting a premium tier handcuff.
In the double-digit rounds where they should be going.
Fine. Okay. Yeah, I can't hate that.
So, again, and then his upside is higher than a majority of the backs we just talked about. And given the offense and given the type of workload that he'll be, falling into if Fournette is to miss time.
Sure. Let's talk wide receivers for a second. Maybe a little more than a second. Same thing. We're going to pick those up in round 8. Round 7's got guys like Brandon Cooks, Cortland Sutton, guys that you shouldn't be questioning. So starting in the 8th round, you have Corey Davis, Cordero Patterson. Don't love that. But then you're going to hit two names. St. Brown, I don't think we need to talk about more than we already have on the show, but this is where Amon-Ra St. Brown's going. Juju Smith-Schuster's going here. Brandon Ayuk.
Give me any of those last three over the other two.
Yeah.
Just give me Juju and St. Brown. One of those two, and I don't care about the rest.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. Give me Juju or St. Brown. I probably prefer Juju. He's going a little later, and I think his upside is probably a little higher with the wide receiver 1 spot on the Chiefs being open. Sky Moore missed all of OTAs with a hamstring injury. So that came out today.
Ooh.
Yeah. So give me Juju here in a freaking Patrick Mahomes offense over anybody else, especially at that value.
So many Jujus.
Yep.
So many Jujus.
So many Jujus. 9th round, Lockett, Bateman, Claypool.
Bateman.
Go ahead,
Bateman. It's always going to be, Bateman for me there. Just the offense itself. Yes, the Ravens are going to throw a little less than last year potentially, but there's just two receivers you want in that back, that you want in Bateman and Andrews, and they're going to command their targets. May not be the highest volume, but You're going to get the consolidation of targets, and they're going to probably sit there in that 22% plus range. So
what I'm gathering from the 9th round backs and wide receivers is that's probably where I'm drafting my tight end. That's
that's your Goddards and
that's Gesicki, Freiermuth. Yeah. It's probably where I'm drafting my tight end is where that's happening. Yeah. Even if I have to reach on a guy that's going a little later or somebody that falls, like I'm probably not taking anybody in the 9th round because Bateman, 90% of my leagues are with you, so I'm not getting Bateman in the 9th.
Yeah,
a lot of people like him. Like I tend to not. I mean, I still won't reach out on him because it's still the Ravens' offense, and we still don't quite know what his ceiling is. But it's at that range where I feel a lot comfortable, especially now that it's the 9th round and not the 7th and 8th. But as soon as as soon as training camp starts, I think he's going to fly up the boards anyways because you're going to see a lot of highlights.
Yep. 10th round: Michael Gallup, Jarvis Landry, Kadarius Toney, Christian Kirk, Russell Gage.
Oh man, last three, easy.
Last three, easy. Landry could come into that conversation if you continue to get bad news on Michael Thomas. But Kadarius Toney was the only guy that put up any efficiency at all with the Giants. They're going to have a new look offense. And Kadarius Toney has big playability, big upside. Christian Kirk going to Jacksonville is going to be playing from behind. He's going to get volume. Engage, we've talked about him a lot, is first 6 weeks, and then you flip him.
Yeah. You nailed it right on that one.
The Kurt disrespect, man, it's still there.
It's
Jesus. There. Come on. He's still a wide receiver one. If you're getting a wide receiver one on any team in double-digit rounds, you're doing it right.
Speaking of, 11th round, Allen Lazard, Tyler Boyd, Valdez-Scantling, Sky Moore, Damonte Parker. 2 wide receiver ones there, potentially.
You want Damonte Parker?
And Allen Lazard and Damonte Parker.
Jacoby Myers, is the true wide receiver one.
He probably is.
Fuck out of here with Damonte Parker.
There's shit to like There's shit to like here, though. There really is.
There is, man. Lazard. I mean, if you love Gabe Davis, here's a cheaper version, and he's a wide receiver one on his team.
Yes.
Boom,
and he has Aaron Rodgers.
And he has Aaron Rodgers. Tyler Boyd has some really solid floor. Sky Moore, especially back half the season, is a guy a lot of people like to take over as the number one on the Chiefs. Valdez-Scantling caught some camp hype. Damonte Parker very easily could be the Patriots' best weapon. I like Jacoby Myers a lot. I think he's going to be the most consistent player, but I think Parker's got the most upside.
I mean,
I agree with Parker.
You can just ignore Parker and just the fact that you can get Lazard, you can get Sky Moore, you can get even MVS. Like he's got the big playability with Mahomes in that Chiefs offense.
It's Lazard all day here for me.
There's just so much. There's even still there's still good upside in this range.
Did he have 12 red zone targets too in the end zone?
Yeah,
12 end zone shots. So I mean, and that was with Davante Adams on the field.
Yeah. Now no Davante Adams. He's going to get between the 20s targets, big body. All about it. All right, 12th plus round. Still value here. Kenny Golladay, Treylon Burks. Some rookies, Chris Olave, Drake London, Christian Watson, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, some veterans, Tim Patrick, Jamison Crowder, Marvin Jones. I like Tim Patrick here a lot, actually. All the dude has done is produced when he's been given an opportunity. He got paid, and you're bringing in Russell Wilson for a much better passing offense, and all Tim Patrick has done is produced.
Yeah, he was producing back in wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3. When he was as a 2.
Yep. Christian Watson, huge upside, and Drake London's going to be the only. I mean, outside of Kyle Pitts, is going to be the only other guy in Atlanta catching passes.
Second half of the season, Burks when he gets more acclimated in that Tennessee offense, and Woods old and nobody else to catch passes there. We mentioned London. London could be consistent all year round. We know that Atlanta's going to play from behind in a lot of games.
Yeah.
He may not score a lot of touchdowns. He may not be hyper efficient, but should get peppered with targets.
So wait to go depth on your wide receivers. Those middle rounds is where you want your running back depth, because what we just learned about wide receivers is all the way through round 12 plus. There's upside there.
And we've seen rookie receivers, especially in the new age NFL over the past 4 or 5 years. We've seen multiple rookie receivers pop.
One of Olave and Wilson.
Olave is the one I really like, especially if Thomas Olave and Winston.
Garrett Wilson could, Olave and Winston. I like that a lot. Wilson could very easily be the one on the Jets too. I mean,
where's Elijah Moore going?
Elijah Moore, I don't know, 6th round maybe.
Is he 6?
He was up there.
That feels so low. I thought he'd be closer to the 9th or 10th round.
He's starting to come up a little bit. Oh, right in there.
Yeah, hold music hold music while we pull up.
Asking the tough questions.
You are. Where's he?
Yeah. Survey says.
Why would I have ADP pulled up?
Round.
We're talking ADP. Where are you at?
I'm at 10:02, but that's in, what is it, 2 quarterbacks still? I think I still have up.
I'm not 2 quarterback. I'm doing all this in straight PPR.
8th, maybe 9th,
709. He was just ahead of the cutoff.
Okay,
and that's why I said I didn't put 7th round in here, because the 7th round is Devontae Smith, Cortland Sutton, Elijah Moore, Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, I mean,
who do you want?
Yeah,
all of them.
I want all of them.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much as Smith, but even then, Smith produced
all of the rest of them.
Yeah. And Smith is someone I still like. I still like the Eagles' offense. So,
yeah. All right,
it's good to know.
And then tight ends. We'll go quick. I'm going to split these into 3-round chunks. 9th, 10th, 11th round, you have Gesicki, Freiermuth, Ertz, and Fant. Freiermuth's the floor guy here, and I think that Fant is Fant went to fucking Seattle.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Freiermuth, and then Ertz, who had a little bit of a resurgence with Kyler last year.
I like Ertz. I especially like Ertz for this year. No Hopkins potentially for the first 6 weeks. At least as it stands right now for the first 6 weeks.
Yep.
And we saw the flashes with him last year and that trust. So I like Ertz in that range, especially for the first,
at least
4 or 5, 6 games of the season that you can go back in the rotating mode.
Freiermuth, the way the Steelers used him, I think has some very good floor to him as well.
Yeah.
At this stage.
I think he'll be a fine back end streamer.
You're just looking for a tight end that won't kill you.
Yep.
All right, going beyond that, 12th round or later, Robert Tonyan, who might start on the pup, Cole Kmet, Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, who's now in Tennessee, Logan Thomas, who might start on the pup, Alberto and Denver, and then Tyler Higbee, David Njoku.
I think David Njoku is the way to go on that one when it's so late, because who's really the number 2 target outside of Amari Cooper there? And you don't know who the quarterback is right now. Is it Brissett right now? Is it going to be Deshaun Watson 4 to 6 games later? So you don't know how that's all going to plan out.
I like Kmet in this range a lot.
I do too. I think he's going to be a safety outlet. I think that the floor on Kmet is probably about the same as Freiermuth this season, and your upside might be about where Dalton Schultz is. So
I think Kmet's a bust. I feel like the hype's too much on him, and I think it's
at least he's 12 plus.
He's in the fucking 14th round.
I like him more than most of the guys, and I do like Njoku. And I hate to say it, but if Watson plays, Njoku's going to be.
I hate to tell you this, but if you take him in the 13th round, you can't consider him a bust.
Yeah, because you either go elite or late, so he's part of the late group.
All these guys are fine. I mean, they're not fine, but all these guys. I mean, you can't. if you're taking tight ends here, you're playing the streaming game.
You're playing.
Tight end we talked about are streamers.
You're playing
to some extent,
or you're playing for upside, and that's going to be Komet, Njoku, Alberto. Alberto's on a good offense, and he's an athletic.
Tunyon if he gets back at some point.
Tunyon if he gets back at some point, but maybe not. Ertz and Freiermuth are your most solid options here. If you're going to play upside and go for two, Komet, Alberto, Njoku. I don't hate Hooper either. There's been some successful tight ends in Tennessee, and he's out of Cleveland, which we know is just a cesspool.
And he's been productive before. He was productive with Atlanta way back then.
Yep.
So there's been production with him.
Indeed. All right. I almost just asked you guys anything else for the good of the team because I thought I was on a work conference call, and we're ending this up. And then I didn't. Also, yes, I'm one of those guys that ends work conference calls that way.
Love it.
Perfect.
That's our show. Thank you guys for tuning in. One of the rare times I'll tell you what we're doing next week. We're going to do some camp previews next week is before camps open up. So we'll go ahead and get into some training camp battles, some guys that we're watching close that might be coming off of late season injuries or, involved in, competitions, things like that. So we'll go ahead and get some camp previews done next week as well as the latest in NFL news like we do every week. I am at Beerfield Hop with 2 P's, joined by Beerfield Thury at Ryan Miner _FFB. Once again, one last reminder, we are presented by the FFFaceoff.com or the FFFaceoff. I don't know how.
.com. You're right.
Yeah, I know the website's .com. I just don't think the website presents us. I think the contingency of FF Faceoff presents us.
Faceoff Sports Network.
Faceoff Sports Network. That's what it is. Great. I'm great at this. Faceoff Sports Network. Mental Health Podathon going on this weekend, 16th and 17th. So if you get a chance, tune into that. Benefit the Hayden Hurst Family Foundation. If you don't know Hayden Hurst's story, it is a good one. As much as we kind of went against him as a prospect, like the Hayden Hurst story and Hayden Hurst the person is pretty damn inspirational. So make sure you check that out, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye.